morning, everyone, and welcome to my home. I want you to know I did not clean in preparation for you joining us today. As we've been on this journey together, a lot of people have been asking me, hey, Lindsay, how do I manage this time? How do I balance all the feelings that I'm having while keeping my company going, while staying strong for my family? And am I allowed to laugh when there is so much going on and a lot of pain and distress for a lot of people? Well, on today's episode, we have some wonderful members of our community joining us to help us explore this topic. And if there's one thing that I believe, and that's the only person I can speak with too, it is that food, friends, and laughter is always a good balm for a worried heart. So, first up today, joining us again after putting tea bags from Time Well Spent Catering under all of your virtual couches, we have celebrity chef Chantel Jackson, who's going to be helping us prepare Southern pulled pork tacos and Time Well Spent shrimp and grits. Chantel, hello, good
Good
morning.
morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well. I want you to know that I ran around town all day yesterday with my face mask on, trying to get all of these ingredients, none of which I have in my home.
Oh man, and you survived it, man. Them grocery stores are crazy right now.
Yes, there are a lot of people, where I was trying to social distance, asking people, are these the right ingredients for this? And they're going, ma'am, I can't talk to you. I can't speak to you. I'm like, I'm staying properly distant from you. Please answer my question. Where are we going to start today? Where should we start?
So let's start off with the shrimp and grits. Those will take a little bit longer. So for those of you joining in, I already have my grits going, and pretty much all you have to do is just some boiled water going, about 4 cups to 1 cup of grits.
I have mine. Now, are they supposed to stick to the pan like mine did? Is that normal?
No, so you got to keep stirring it. Like, if you have to really watch these bad boys, because if you let them go for a second, they are going to be a mess. So you just want to always constantly stir them. And then if they get a little too thick, you can just always add a little bit more water.
I don't think anybody told my grandmother that, because that was not how my grits ended up on my plate. They always seem to end up on my plate kind of like something out of the movie Oliver. Just ugh.
Oh, like flop? Yeah, you just let it do its thing. You boil it first, and then you put it to a lower temperature, and then you just let it do its thing. But just remember to keep stirring it.
Okay, so
and that's pretty much the foundation of it. The grits hold everything together.
Okay. What's next?
So we're going to get our sauce ready. So you want to get your pan. You add a little bit of olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
And then throw in some minced garlic.
Minced garlic.
Depending on your temperature, about medium heat.
Okay. What else?
All right, so then you're going to put in the holy trinity, which is the basis of any Southern cooking. So you got onions, green peppers, and celery.
Here's my onions.
That's in etouffees, it's in gumbos. That's the starter kit.
Now, was that because those were just in abundance in the South, or was that because those were sort of just, I remember my grandmother saying that you should eat a green pepper kind of like you eat an apple every day, that it would ward off everything from sickness to evil spirits. Is that true?
Yeah, so it definitely was abundance in the South, but it mainly came from when the French came over to like the southern part. So it's more of a Creole style. So there's a difference between Southern and Creole and Cajun. They're all different things. Southern is more like Texas, Alabama type thing. Creole is more of a French and African cross cultures. And then Cajun is just regular Americans in like Louisiana, if that makes sense. That's politically correct.
Your cooking centers around this diaspora, correct? This sort of movement through different parts of the South, Louisiana, the Deep South, and then we even see some flares of what you're adding here in your time from Seattle and Tacoma. Is that true?
Yes. So my style of cooking is, I mean, I'm all over the place. Like, it's like a little bit of Southern, a little bit of Hilltop, a little bit of Central District. Like, I'm just all over the place. But either way, it brings joy to people's hearts.
Absolutely.
Once the cross cultures and all the influences come together on the plate, man, it goes down. So
okay.
we're at the you cooked your vegetables down a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, so now you can add in your sausage. I am using andouille sausage today.
Now, I actually found that was a little bit more challenging to find. Do you have any recommendations for those watching at home? What sort of grocery stores tend to have that type of sausage always on hand?
So andouille sausage is pretty much everywhere. It's in the part where you would normally find like kielbasa or let's see, Sylvia's brand, or right next to like the bacon aisle.
Okay.
And then if you don't want to use sausage, you can use chicken. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, you can substitute with like zucchini, collard greens, cauliflower, portobello mushrooms. Because once you get your protein, it's pretty much all about the sauce. And that's what makes the shrimp and grits. So I'm going to show you what it looks like.
All right, I'm going to see if mine looks like that.
It's cooking down. Oh, that's fire. Oh, my God. If you could smell this right now, I swear, it makes you want to slap your mama. And my mom's actually downstairs. Don't tell her I said that.
How am I doing? How is it? Is it looking okay? Why
Oh,
don't you look better?
Wow.
It's not a competition.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting. Don't let it fool you. It's the lighting. All right. So now that we got that cooking down some, we are going to add our shrimp.
Add the shrimp right to the pan?
Right into the sausage. And then as soon as it turns pink,
do I need to turn the temperature down or up or anything, or it stays on the same heat?
you can keep it on the same medium heat.
Okay.
Boom, I got my shrimp in.
Oh my goodness. This smells delicious. It smells.
Like, people used to go crazy over this. Like, I would sell this on my food truck, like at all the festivals, and people would go ham because not a lot of people make shrimp and grits out here.
I know, it's amazing. I'm even seeing my two little humans are popping their head out around the corner going, Mommy, what's that smell? So
see, look, I'm telling you, the kitchen is the heart of the house, man. If you got something great cooking, people will come out the woodwork. All right. So once that starts to cook down, so once you see that the liquid has evaporated and your shrimp has turned pink, you're going to add in your heavy cream.
Okay. And how much cream was it?
It's usually like about 1/4 of a cup.
Okay.
And this is what makes the sauce. Boom.
Wow.
And this is one of my secrets because most just like using just the tomato. I like adding heavy cream because I like it to be a pink in color, like an orange pink.
Oh my goodness, that looks amazing.
like go. Then once you see that the sauce starts to thicken, you can start adding some of your white cheddar. And I don't put too much seasoning in here because you already have the taste of the grits, which has salt and some seasoning in it. But sharp white cheddar is already salty enough. The andouille sausage, the garlic's in there. So you don't need much seasoning, just a little bit to taste.
If I can't find white cheddar, am I able to use, you know, run-of-the-mill yellow cheddar? Or is that going to really change the flavor of the dish?
You can use yellow cheddar. Yep, I would put it to the sauce. It's so weird because I'm the type of person, like, when it comes to grits, there's always that big fight. Do you want sugar in your grits, or is it just butter and salt and pepper? Like, I'm the type where it's just butter and salt and pepper. Do not add sugar to it, or we're fighting. That is, like, the worst combo to me. And I don't like cheese in my grits. Like, orange cheese, I don't like it. But if I'm doing shrimp and grits, that's the only time I put cheese in my grits, because it's like a nice hearty meal instead of having it for breakfast.
Ah, that's interesting. And I know a lot of people, even my mom's going to be thinking, what? I'm having grits not for breakfast, but that's really something to think about in terms of how to take this breakfast food and reimagine it for dinner. I love that.
Yeah, so this is really good for, I did this for like a lot of Southern brunches. Because it's so hearty. And you can just serve it with like a nice toasted baguette on the side, and that would be an entire meal. A lot of Southern food is like one pot dishes. So like gumbo is sustaining, shrimp and grits is sustaining, because a lot of times they didn't have a lot of time to make full course meals or have sides. They had to have something that would last them over and stick to their bones, especially like during like the slavery times. So they only had like easy stuff like gumbo and grits and okra, and those things would carry them out when they're working in the fields and stuff. Yes. So, little history for you.
Tell you right now that since I've been on quarantine, lots of things are sticking to my bones. Seems to be.
Girl, let me tell you. I bought an elliptical. That thing is a clothes rack. I'm so mad. Look, I'm over it. Don't even talk about sticking to my bones, because, dog. Look, all right, my new goal, because it was a summer body, I miss summer, okay? So now we about to skip that. I'm going to look sexy in a turtleneck during wintertime.
Exactly.
My birthday's in February. I might make my birthday.
That's today when I thought, oh, this is the first time everybody at home is going to see me up and down. I was like, oh, man, I got to put on pants. Oh, the things we do for you, for all those who are watching, we put on pants.
Okay. So, I'm going to get some of these grits and put them in the bowl so you can see what it looks like. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, this is my library.
Plating up?
Yes. So here we have the grits going. I'm going to get one more spoon.
All right. I know my don't look as good as yours do, but.
All right, here we go.
All right. How'd I do? Can you see that?
Oh, that's fire. And look how it's smoking. Look at that.
No. Oh, my goodness.
Like a little bit of garnish to it.
All right. I'm digging a spoon out of the sink. I know you all see me doing that, but, you know, it's my house. My house.
That's right. Zoom in. Do.
Okay. Going in for that first taste. This looks amazing. Wow, look at how the sausage is just so beautifully browned next to the prawns. It's delicious. Oh my. Oh my.
Who made this? I want to know who made this. Because
It's, oh,
this is fire.
and it was so easy, right? We were only at that for maybe 7 to 10 minutes. Wow.
20 minutes tops. 30 minutes. Depending on how many people you're cooking for. This usually makes for about 4 people.
Wow. This would be so beautiful sitting in the sun one afternoon, little glass of wine next to you. Yes, I said that. Mm.
Yep. All right. So now we can get into the Southern taco. Now this is great. So we have Memorial Day on Monday.
Yes.
Some people may still have a lot of leftovers in there. So this is a great recipe if you have some barbecue chicken or if you have some pulled pork left over.
I have mine. I did my homework. I heated it up to prepare. So I wanted to be the best student in your class today.
Yes, let's get it. So I mean, this is so easy. You can either pull some pulled pork. You can get your drumsticks of chicken, pull the chicken off that, heat it up, add some more barbecue sauce, and you're just gonna fill it and put it into corn tortillas.
Okay. Now, what is I mean, I lived in Guatemala. I, have had some really great corn tortillas, but if I'm standing there and I'm looking at the flour tortillas and the corn tortillas, why would you recommend going with corn?
Because the corn, when it's toasted, it tastes so much better. The flour tortillas can be kind of, they get wet.
Yeah.
And like the flour, it's almost like a gluey, thick texture. And the corn's also gluten-free. So if you're trying to stay keto-friendly, boom, this is the one for you.
Which I think we all learned the majority of us are not right now, but at least the 2 people on screen today. Okay, I've got my corn tortilla, I've got my barbecue chicken.
All right, so then next, I'm pretty sure every barbecue has coleslaw, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna get your coleslaw. There's some things you can do, because I hate coleslaw. That was like the worst, that's like my worst favorite food, right? But yes. I made it to where I can enjoy it. So I would take some coleslaw, add some red onions, some cilantro, some garlic. Boom, it's like a fresh new makeover.
Oof.
Boom, so you're gonna put that on top of the barbecue chicken.
Okay. I'm so excited to see what we're going to do with these peaches.
Girl, let me tell you. So this is why I call it the Southern taco, because it's barbecue, coleslaw, and then a peach salsa. So what you do is you get some pico, which is tomatoes, onions, jalapenos, and garlic. You're going to get you some peaches. You're going to add your pico to it, give it a nice stir. Add some cilantro.
I have to say, I have become a little gardener over the past 2 months and have some cilantro that actually came out of my garden today.
Oh, wow. There's that farm to table.
Well, and, we'll see how long I can keep it alive. I have to just eat it immediately to make sure that the plant stays alive.
All right, I'm gonna get my plate here. And this is so easy. This is another thing I would sell on my food truck.
Yes.
And it's so easy and quick to get out the window. It was ridiculous.
Again, if I'm standing there, I'm asking, what's the difference between pico de gallo and salsa? Oh my goodness. Okay, there's mine. Delicious. I'm taking a bite. I've been waiting for this since I woke up this morning.
I'm gonna zoom in by pushing my laptop down. Look at that. Technology, look at that.
Goodness. Mine looks exactly the same.
Perfect.
Exactly. Plated just as beautifully. I'm lying because I already put mine in my mouth and I'm already chomping on it.
Boom, boom. Good deal. Good deal.
Wow. So, you know, I love these recipes because if I'm sitting at home and I'm trying to work, I'm trying to manage the kids, this idea of taking things that are already in the refrigerator or a meal that you cooked yesterday and repurposing it is
Mm-hmm.
just so great, because these prawns, if you didn't finish them all in the shrimp and grits recipe, you could put those on the barbecue the next day,
Yep.
just on skewer and have them that way. My 5-year-old has decided that she is a vegan.
Oh, I love it.
We're working through that. So, grits is something that I can get her to eat, and she still loves the sauce that comes from we don't tell her that the sauce had meat cooking in it. Is that, am I a bad parent? I don't, but trying to get this girl. But, we do the grits with beans or something like that so she can still get the protein. What are you finding um, are some really great ways that parents can put some easy meals out that kids can sort of graze on throughout the day?
So I love doing antipasto trays. Like if you just put some meat, cheese, crackers, grapes, that's a cool thing to leave out, but not for too long. Maybe for like just like a couple hours because the cheese can't really sit out that long. Another thing you could do, I've been seeing on Pinterest, is parents putting like the lower part of the fridge where kids can reach and putting together little sandwich wraps or sandwich bags full of like carrots, celery in one drawer, and then another one will have like a fruit snack, and then they kind of just build their own lunch type thing.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, because I have found that one of the favorite classes in LTHJ school is cooking class, and that my 7-year-old and my 5-year-old have actually really enjoyed preparing lunch together. And I definitely think this taco dish is one that they could make by themselves. Even the shrimp and grits, if I got everything prepared, and sorry, this is just so good, I'm going to keep eating it while I speak. If they got everything prepared, they would be able to put everything together at the end. And I think they take a lot of pride in being able to put food out and plate it and say, look, I made this. Oh my God.
Yes, it definitely brings the family together by having everybody play their own special role, no matter how big or small it is, because once it all comes together, it's finished together. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
don't put me on dish duty. I hated doing dishes when I was younger. No. Thank God for portable dishwashers.
I want to know, is there something, a favorite dish that you find you've been coming back to again and again during this time when you're having a bit of just a day of overwhelm, or, we've had a lot of incidents right now in the Black community that has, really been quite jarring for my spirit. I don't want to put words into your mouth. Are there any dishes that you find you've been preparing just to sort of cuddle up and take care of yourself?
Ooh, so mac and cheese is probably my ultimate comfort food.
Mm,
And even without mac and cheese, I love a good soup.
yeah.
Um, even with the things that are going on now, it's when things like this are put in your face, it's hard to find joy in stuff like this. And during these difficult times, you really have to do a paradigm shift and figure out how do I put this in words? Are you going to take a stance, or are you going to turn your eye away from it?
Yes.
So this is a time where I continue to stay in prayer, because some things are out of our control and then some things are in our control. And man, keep God close.
Mm, yes. And whatever that means for anybody that's watching at home, really remembering to take good care of yourself. And one way to do that, and certainly one thing that I love returning with you again and again to Chantel Jackson, is putting beautiful food out on the table and pulling our family close. Thank you again so much for being here. I hope that there's a cookbook on the way soon.
I got time now. If I don't get a cookbook out of this quarantine, listen.
Yes, well, you can check out all of these great recipes on the Time Well Spent Catering blog. Find our recipe today for the Southern pulled pork tacos or the shrimp and grits, and other fantastic recipes that are fun, easy, and healthy for your family, for you, to make it through this certain time, but you can return to them again and again. Thank you, Chantel, for joining us. Up next, we have a little bit of laughter on the way. Joining us are comedians Silas Lindenstein and Samantha Runn. So grab a quick drink of water, whatever you need to get focused, because there's nothing like a good laugh to help you get through the day. And here you are. I see Silas. I see
You see me?
Samantha.
I didn't know if you were
Hello.
talking. I don't know if you were just talking to everybody. Like you could see everyone.
I can see everyone. And look, now you can see me as I've changed cameras. That was some pretty high-tech camera work right there. We are, starting to get on top of this, filming from home. I don't know how to introduce you to. I adore you. I adore your work. I adore the way you live your life. But, Silas, you have been actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to read how you describe yourself, because
Uh-oh.
this is the most amazing thing in the world. Silas is the mocha almond fudge of stand-up comedy. Not very dark, but not very light, bringing balance to the force of comedy. This is my favorite part. Sweet yet savory, and just the perfect amount of nuttiness. Tell us about that.
That was sometimes you have late nights and you need to write a bio, and I think that's what happens. I don't, I'm a big I run a show called The Real Nerds of Comedy that we do every year at Comic-Con. This year didn't happen, unless it happens in August. We'll see. Like I do lean into my nerd side for some comedy, and I definitely like to let people know that right up front.
Yes, they will not be surprised then when this conversation starts to de-evolve. Samantha, you described yourself as a multi-ethnic, ambiguously religious, post-academic smorgasbord of experience. Now, because you were a post-academic, were you trying to fit in as many multi-syllabic words as possible into your bio?
No, I was just, well, for one, I hate writing bios because it's like, what do you say about yourself? And it was just, well, how do I describe my experience? Because I feel like it's been a little bit all over the map. So just trying to squeeze it all in.
Yes,
Yeah.
you definitely did in one sentence, which you followed up by saying a recovering overachiever.
Yeah, in case if you didn't get that from the first. Yeah.
So, I wanted to have you on because who better to talk about, is it okay to laugh? Is it okay to still find joy during these times, than two desperate comedians who all of your gigs have been canceled and all of your, public appearances have been put on hold. How are you finding joy during this time?
I don't. I just cry all the time. That's my recommendation for everybody. Actually, well, how can you not find joy when, you can now have your day job without pants, right? Like, unfortunately, I work at a grocery store, but that's...
You'll get a memo eventually.
I don't. I don't know. I think without laughter, I think it's always, I feel like we always need laughter in the good times and in the dark. And I think I was actually, to my daughter, we were talking the other day, our movie watching has changed because she doesn't want to watch anything now unless it's a comedy.
Huh.
And like she needs it. She needs these moments to laugh as much as possible.
Yeah. So kind of going off of what Silas said, I have this sort of, as I'm sure we all do, the convergence of so many different emotions. I have immense gratitude to have a home, to have enough to eat, to have the worry of what if I gain weight because I'm eating too much. There's nothing wrong with gaining weight, and especially right now, people should be happy that they have the opportunity to gain weight. Well, I shouldn't say how you should feel. You get to feel however you want to feel. This is what I tell myself. To have the opportunity to have a job where you get to work from home, or to still have a job where you get to be safe, So there's all these things to be grateful for. What I feel blessed with, there's a little bit of guilt mixed in because I'm very angry that I can't do more for people. There's frustration, there's fear, there's a convergence of feeling great one day and horrible the next. And what you were talking about, earlier in the show, obviously we're all feeling, well, I can speak for the three of us at least, because I know we're feeling, pain and sorrow and rage and all of those things. And yes, we are having moments where we have to laugh and we get to laugh. And I definitely feel that at moments like this, we absolutely have to laugh to not go completely insane. It's like, this is why humor is built into humanity.
Yes.
To help diffuse some of that tension. But I do think that what I laugh about, it's a little bit different maybe. For sure, the shows that I watch, I haven't been wanting to watch dramas. I think there's a reason so many people gravitated towards Tiger King. I only wanted to watch trashy things or, things that didn't make me think too much. Now it's a little bit different. I can watch it, but it depends on the day and it depends on what I just saw on the news.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. Silas, and having one of the longest running comedy podcasts in the Pacific Northwest, Black and a Half, have you noticed a change in your viewership? How are they responding to your work?
I am getting more text messages than I have been in the past from people that I'm close to. They're definitely having more time to listen and catch up, and they have less excuses. I think people are they're starving to a degree, even though I swear everyone says they're out of Netflix shows, but I don't think they've really delved into it as much as I think they can. There's a lot out there, but I think people are just trying to, I think now we also want we want a connection to what the content, because we're so disconnected from most people. I feel so lucky that I have 3 kids and a wife. So I'm surrounded by the people a lot, and the kids all day. So I just feel disconnected with friendships more. So I need to do more of these Zoom meetings, but just for lunch.
Please, I have
It's not recording a new show.
That sounded so delicious.
Yeah. Got a leftover PB&J I can grab.
Yeah, I'll put this out on the front of the driveway, and you can just get it mounted from inside the house.
But I think it's the connection. I think the people that know me or were fans of are actually trying to catch up on stuff because they want to feel a connection at some point, and they can't. They can't lie to me now and say they couldn't make my show because there's no. So
well, I guess they could just be honest about it and say they didn't want to make your show, or they couldn't make it because they didn't have energy. We had a Zoom meeting with old classmates, and one of them, she didn't come on, and maybe I shouldn't be saying this because this is live. Sometimes I forget we're not having a private conversation. But a couple of people were just people were disappointed that she didn't show up, and we didn't know why. And I'm just thinking, maybe she's having an existential crisis, or maybe it's just because some days it is just too much. Yeah. Like if they had asked me a day before, I'm like, I'm sorry, you guys, I need to tap out for right now for some self-care.
Yes.
It's just all too much. And then the next day or in the next couple hours, you feel fine. You're ready to go.
Yes.
I think
I'm glad you get it, right? You get it.
But the thing is, it's when you think that the person isn't there because they're having an existential crisis, or you think, oh, they're overwhelmed with the kids or something like that, and then come to find out that they just didn't feel like it.
Well, that's true. I was giving her the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. You
should check in.
I did.
Okay.
I didn't hear back.
I will say there's probably at least once a day for the last 6 weeks, I just start laughing because I'm looking at everything and being like, this is ridiculous. Like it's all preposterous that this is happening. And I just start laughing. I'm like, I can't believe this is my life right now. Like, I just don't know what I'm going to do. I just don't know what to do.
Which sci-fi movie or show or book does this reality most closely resemble? Or is it so preposterous that nobody even could have possibly have conceived of it?
I'm trying to think what it's like. I feel like I feel like I'm the guest character in a Star Trek episode where we've been trapped, on a shuttle.
Shuttle.
Like it's been really slow, and they're like, well, we can't. Love to help you out, but we don't want to break quarantine. And like, well, can somebody come over? Anybody?
Well, see, what people don't know is I'm a huge Star Trek nerd, which I have no idea why people are surprised about that. But there's an episode where they find these 3 people that were in like a cryogenic capsule, and they wake up. I kind of feel like that is where we are right now. We've just woken up. Dr. Crusher did the z, and now we're...
And it is partly because I do feel like we, like, with like Trump in office, everything going crazy was just like a slow amp up, for 3 years. Where this was over the course of like a couple weeks. And suddenly everything was different. We were like, it happened so fast. And you're right. It is almost like waking up in another time. Because I'm like, well, this is the first year I haven't had a Memorial Day party in like 7 years.
Yeah. Well, aren't you special? 7 years. I'm teasing. No, Well,
Has I've never been invited to the parties. Is that what just happened?
Well,
No, I just being a brat. Yeah, see, I feel like you guys feel like you woke up in a weird time period. If I really think about, oh, this is what's happening right now, if I focus on it, it makes me feel like I'm still asleep in some strange nightmare that I keep waiting for somebody to jump out and be like, April Fool's Day. Be like, you bad joke,
Yeah.
It's I feel like I can only fully grasp the reality when I don't think about the fact that this is reality.
Yes.
You know,
Like
it's just
some sort of punked episode.
yeah, it's unbelievable, except for that it's actually happening. So I have no choice but to believe it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You, Samantha, were recently on an episode of
Oh, Three Busy Deborahs.
Yes. Tell us about that. What was that experience like in the midst of this? Did you find that, in collaborating with them and their comedic sketch team, that the lens by which they were writing was a little bit different?
Well, I got to film the episode several months ago, and I had to be quiet about it, of course, because of NDAs. So once it filmed, I was very excited to see, oh, I've got my network thing, I've got this credit now. And I didn't promote it. I didn't say to people, I don't think I even posted it on Facebook, because I felt, how can I say, hey guys, look at my show, and so many people are dying, and it was earlier, you know what I mean? It just felt like I couldn't brag about this or share. I did feel like I couldn't share my happiness about it. So, because when it came out, was it like a month ago or something? I don't know. So yes, that's the part that I was so excited about it, but I felt like, oh, I don't think I can put this out there because we're all busy grieving.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And what is that? We've talked about that before on one of our episodes. What is that idea that we as humans are not capable of holding two emotions? Why do we think we can't hold grief and joy simultaneously?
I feel that different emotions will be prioritized or get the focus. And it felt at that time to me to be disrespectful. So I suppose it's not that we're not allowed to feel certain things. It's just what we share.
Yes. Yes.
And I did share it with some, with my family, of course, and a few people, but I didn't feel that it was right for me to promote it in the same way that I would if there wasn't so much obvious suffering going on,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful, beautiful feat and opportunity, and I completely understand what you're saying and respect that decision that you made. And I want to celebrate this, huge, moment in your career. You've been working on it for so long, hustling. And there are a lot of business owners out there who watch this show and know the hustle. And we can be proud of you and supportive of you.
Thanks, I appreciate that.
I think you do want to, though. I think people do appreciate that good things still do happen. And they do want that. They actually, I think they want to hear your good news that something happening is in the midst of this. I mean, there were people who, got married on 9/11. They had a baby. They were having these incredibly wonderful moments during that tragedy. And, in some way, I don't want to rob you of the joy that you get to feel, that you did have this accomplishment. I mean, I might almost feel a little sad for you that I wish more people could see it right now.
I'm happy you said sad. I thought you were going to say jealous. I was
well, I do appreciate that. And, I think another thing that was different about it is I had already waited months before telling everybody because so I suppose for me, it's like, I can wait a little bit longer to say something. And also, because it was, well, I could look it up, but I don't remember off the top of my head if it was a month ago or so. I was also more in the throes of just this, how many days are we each going to get to survive for again? You know, for my own place I was coming from, it felt that, well, yes, this is my life's work, but right now just breathing is the most important thing for everyone. So I guess it wouldn't have felt authentic for me to be putting it out there. You know?
Well, like Busy Deborah's, your cameo, that could have been your legacy.
I mean, I hope it's not. please give me more time on this earth to build more on it. But you know what? I'm happy for it to be a good a part of it. They were absolutely phenomenal.
You know, the video at the Oscars would play that.
Yeah, you know, add a piece of it. It was a phenomenal experience. I'm very grateful for it. I don't mean to sound any other way than that. It was a lot of fun. They were just lovely. Yeah.
Silas, we're both parents at home through all this, and I have to say that it has been both one of the most magical gifts to have all of this extra time to be so involved in my children's education. And yet, you know, there are some days where I'm just like, please, please go run around the block and, you know, and leave.
Talk to a stranger.
Second, in the corner doing these ones. Oh. Like, you've got three. I've got two. What is that like?
Well, I am lucky that one of them is so my kids' ages are 13, 4, and 2, right? So I am able to have good conversations with the 13-year-old, but she's 13, so they're.
It would have been really funny if you're like with the 2-year-old.
Yeah. But she so sometimes she gives, you know, she can watch them and get me a little bit of break sometime so I can go garden. But you know, I think they are a reminder on why we do need to laugh and how we can keep laughing. They don't know. They don't care. Like the 4-year-old knows she can't see friends because of COVID. She knows COVID's out there. People are sick. So we're just taking a little break from people. 2-year-old doesn't know anything that's going on. He just wants to get tickled. And I think it's, you know, such that base human emotion that he just still wants to play. He just wants to play. And I'm like, okay. So I can forget sometimes, you know, that things are different. Like we're here. And I think they keep you present, you know, and they keep me focused on, for me, the higher purpose of why I'm staying, you know, I'm staying home so that they can have some sort of normalcy quicker. Like I want it to happen quicker for them. I do, you know, I have a 94, 95-year-old grandmother. You know, I'm very conscious of my time running out with her as it is. So I'm like, I want this done so I can take.
Oh, I thought it was mine at first.
They bring a lot of awareness and focus for me.
Yeah. Oh, you froze.
You froze for a moment.
You'll be happy to know your mouth like this.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I kind of going off of what, you know, you're saying with laughing and why we need to laugh and how it's helpful in being present and all of that. I do find a special satisfaction when I'm able to get somebody else to laugh now. And it's a little bit different. I mean, it's a little bit different than, and Silas, I'm not sure how this is for you too, of course, but, you know, obviously when you're working on a joke and you finally get it how you want and the audience laughs and they're on board and it's so satisfying. That's so satisfying. When people after the show tell me how much they needed the laugh, it's even more satisfying. I've had some people hug me after shows and be like, I really needed this. And that's probably the height of my happiness for when I get to do stand-up. But now, yes, I'm not, you know, obviously doing stand-up shows at the moment with the whole situation, but when I make somebody laugh now, anyone, I feel so happy because I know how much everybody needs to laugh. And it's hard to do right now. You know, it's hard, but there is that sort of closeness of you're far apart, but you shared a laugh and you both really needed it.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And just that sort of sense of like, we are still alive. We are still figuring this out. We are still muddling our way through, and that we are still grieving collectively, holding space for one another collectively. And I love this line in terms of something that I've learned to say when somebody is grieving a loss is, I can be here both for your joy and your pain. And allowing that those two things can intertwine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, even within the space of 5 minutes, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So, any final thoughts for those who are out there listening, who are at home, who have their coffee in hand, took a break from their home office or from homeschooling? This is your opportunity to make them laugh. No, just kidding. No pressure.
Have no shame with dad jokes right now. That's what I say. Have no shame.
Do you have a good one for us?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a good dad joke for us?
What did I? Well, like yesterday, my daughter has she's 13, so she's on like a health kick, and I went into the kitchen yesterday at lunch, and I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm making nachos, and I'm like, you just said you want to be healthier? She said, yeah. I'm like, so you're gonna melt cheese on chips for lunch? That is not your best decision. Okay.
But
she paused and turned to me and said, Dad. Dad. That's what she does when I say a dad joke. That's why they call them dad jokes. She yells dad when I say them.
It's because she knows she's locked in there with you for time. Yeah. Samantha, what are your final thoughts for us?
Two quick ones. One, if you need a laugh, just laugh. And you'll probably feel a little bit silly at first, but just to get your body to kickstart that, to get that release, you'll probably actually start laughing by the end. And then two, just remember, don't let other people take your joy. It's important, obviously, for us to grieve when we need to grieve, to allow ourselves to be angry, to do whatever is within our power to create the changes that we want to see in the world, and being considerate of other people as well. But if you cannot act on changing the things that you want to change, remember, it doesn't really do anybody any good for you to sit there and wallow and harm your own self. So remember to take care of yourself and find moments of joy every day, even if it's just getting to eat the delicious recipes you were making earlier, because those looked amazing. Find those moments of joy for yourself.
Put them right outside. They're going to be
so good.
Driveway. One says Samantha, one says Silas. Yeah. And this comes back to that Mother Teresa quote that I'm always saying: if you want to change the world, go home and take care of your family. And I think there's such an opportunity right now to embrace this time as an opportunity to learn, who am I? What does fill me up with joy? How do I express sadness and pain? What problems do I want to solve in the world? And, I've been asking my kiddos the same thing, and it's amazing, what they come up with at 7 and 5 already. So I love that. Do not let somebody steal your joy. I know somebody listening today needed to hear that. Silas, Samantha, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for always bringing laughter into my life. And I'm pretty sure you're going to be back on here having some more fun in future episodes. I know everybody that's joining us out there on Facebook or on YouTube or on LinkedIn, we're so happy to share this time and space with you. Remember that we are always here to make you laugh. We are always here to hold your joy or your pain through this time. Mwah.